Hello students. So what I wanted to do today is make a video clearly showing how you can take plotted points and make a graph out of them. So your textbook, if you're using this textbook, it doesn't do a great job of how to get to that point on your calculator, and that's because there's lots of different ways. So if you know of another different way that works for you, or you learned a different way, if you learned another way, then you are welcome to do that. But if you don't remember or you're just learning it now, this is a way you can get there. So at the moment, you're pretty much always going to be told what type of graph you're dealing with. So in this case, this is a linear regression function. So what we're going to do is we have our plotted points here, and we are going to take our calculator and we are going to plug these points in to L1 and L2. So I'm going to start from the very beginning on my graphing calculator, if I can get out of this. Okay, so as we can see, I'm totally clear at the moment. So these are all the steps to go from a graph or a t-graph or some coordinate points. And these are all the steps on how to get to your graph on your calculator. And we're going to follow these steps. So the first thing you're going to do, so if I bring my calculator up here, is you're going to press Stat. And that's this button right here. Now you're going to press Edit. So that's the very first option. So you're just going to press Enter. So now you can see I have L1, L2. Now L1 is going to be your independent variable. L2 is going to be your dependent variable. That's usually just X and Y. So L1 being X, L2 being Y. Most of the time, it's listed that this will be L1, this will be L2. So what we're going to do now is we are going to plot L1 and L2. So I'm going to take my graphing calculator, put it beside my points, and start graphing. So as we can see, I'm going to list all of these first. So it looks like it'll be 6, 8, 9, 12, 13, 14, 17, 18, and 19. Now we're going to go over to L2, and we are going to plot L2. So make sure it's corresponding with the proper number. So this will be 78.04, enter, 79.14, enter, 81.16, enter, 82.60, enter, 83.72, enter, 84.22, enter, 86.77, enter, 87.12, enter, 90.60, enter. So now at this point you have L1 and L2. So the first thing you want to do is find the equation that represents this. Again, in your questions, they're going to usually tell you exactly what type of regression it is. So there's no kind of guessing on that end. So now you're going to press Stat and Calculate. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take my calculator here and I'm going to press Stat, scroll over to Calc, and now you're going to choose the type of regression it is. So if you're dealing with a linear regression, you're going to press LinReg, which stands for linear regression. If you knew it was a quadratic, so it had a power of 2, you'd do QuadReg. Cubic would be CubeReg. If you know it's a logarithmic, it's LNReg. Don't get that mixed up with logistics. Not the same. You're never going to touch the logistic. LNReg is logarithmic. Exponential reg is found here. And then the last one you learn is sine reg, which is for a sinusoidal. But in this example, we know that it is a linear regression. So I'm going to go up to the first linear regression and press enter on linreg. So now at this point, you can press enter and it's going to show me my equation. So you can see here, ax plus b. So this a, this is our slope. It's 0.85. B, as you will learn, b is your y-intercept. So my graph should be going through the y-intercept here. So now I know my equation. You can find a lot just from that equation. But now these are the steps to get this on your actual graph. So you're going to press stat first. Then you're going to press go to calc. You're going to choose the type. So you're just going to choose the exact same type that you did. So linear regression. So now once you get here, you're going to press second one. So now you're going to tell the calculator that you want your independent variable to be whatever was listed in L1. So second one, and you can see that activates the little yellow L1. Then you're going to press comma, and now you're going to state what is your dependent variable. So you're going to press second, and then 2, and that's going to activate L2, as you can see. So now you're saying this is my dependent variable. You're going to press one more comma, and then you're going to press vars, which is found right here. You're going to go over to y vars. You're going to press function. And now you're going to hit y1 and press enter. So what this is essentially saying is whatever your graph is, you're putting L1 and L2 in as a linear regression, and you're plotting it in y1. So now you're just going to press enter, and you might say, hey, nothing happened. It just gave me my graph again. But the nice part about this is if you press y equals, you can see that that exact same formula has now been plotted into y1. And now I can hit graph. And we should see a graph pop up. But hey, what the heck happened? There is no graph. Well, that's because, remember, we just talked about how the y-intercept is at 72. If you look at your Windows settings, my y max is only at 23, so my graph's not even on here. So what you can do before you start playing around with the Windows settings is you can press zoom, and you can go down to zoom fit, which is the last option. And your calculator will do its best on finding the best Windows settings to look at your points. And you can see here are our plotted points. And now we can see and find our line. You could press the window and manipulate it a little bit if you needed to, but that's a different video. So now you have your line and it's good to go. And again, if you were dealing with a quadratic equation, you would have pressed, instead of when you get to your type, you would just press, if it was quadratic, you would use quadratic reg. If it was a cubic, you would press cubic reg. So that is how to find and plot and use your calculator to get from given data values to a specific equation or graph. And I hope that was helpful. Other than that, have a great day.